Hi everyone, welcome back to Rogue Trader Void Shadows. We're at Koronus to do our Magnae Accessio to ascend the throne of the Rogue Trader. Let's see if it goes okay. And what I remember, it's mainly just talking. Who shall I bring? Bring Abelard. Because his granddaughter's there. And bring Cabela. Yep. Me and myself. Okay. Let's have a look around. What we got? Aristocrats. The plaque lists the names of each rogue trader who have led the von Valancius dynasty dating back to the day the capital world was founded. Hasn't changed, it's the same as previous. We'll go to Tech Priest. Confessor with Argento, of course. Glory to the God Emperor. Yes, dear. Standing upon the altar is an ancient image of Saint Macarius. Its regal frame is covered in marks. The relic was claimed in a battle on a remote and forgotten world. Don't know who Saint Macarius is? Let's check up here. No, nothing. Check this gun emplacement as well. No, nothing here either. Ancient cogitator linked to the Perilous systems networks. That activated the gun turrets when we were under siege. Oh, there's Cabela. Are you standing in someone? No, it's just your cloak. Your people... Make your people leave, Dom and Jellybobs. Their idle questions are getting in the way of my watch. Great Beacon, your will is my command. Well, blessed to see you in good health, your lordship. Great Beacon. Okay. Is that what they're calling me? Earliet, what are you saying? The walls of your home suffocate me, Heretic. I long to leave this twisted world at the first opportunity. A live fruit-bearing tree in the heart of a hive world is a fantastical sight. They probably use a lot more water to tend to this tree than an average Koronus citizen could hope to receive in their daily ration. Well, very likely. Janus delegation, messengers. The Janus delegation salutes you, your lordship. They're just all nonsense, are they? Shady character. Well, lovely day is your lordship. Your presence only makes it better. What? My lord, I don't understand. What do you mean? Stop playing dumb, you know why I'm here. Oh, my lord, you shouldn't shout like that. You don't want the whole palace to know about your tastes, do you? In this case, is everything I promised. Perfect transparency, excellent sharpening. Okay. I hope I don't have to check them on the spectrograph. My lord, what do you think I am? Have you ever had a problem with our product before? Well, I suppose we're done here. Guards, follow me. I'll be waiting for your next Vox message, my lord. What's this aristocrat doing? Oh, it disappeared. Oh, he's gone through it all again. There's Jai. Such illustrious society, such well-heeled nobles indeed. It'd be worth visiting Dargonus even without getting to know you, Shui. The word offers huge scope for doing business. Glinting in the light, the coin falls into the clear water and sinks to the bottom. Kiavagama delegation. May the Messiah bless the von Valancius dynasty. Indeed. He's on loop. Wonder if that's because I'm heretical. Can't remember that conversation before. Wardens, servants, wardens, aristocrats. Some display cases with stuff in it. Important stuff, of course, but stuff nonetheless. Let's go into my office, see what's in here. There's a faint mark on the polished mantelpiece, which is likely left by the glass. Okay. The leather covers bear the names of authors, mostly philosophers and theologians from Dargonus. The spines of the books are gemmed with gold. The cogitators producing rhythmic sounds, among which a faint ringing stands out. Remains of a plaque can be seen on the frame. Alas, the inscription is completely indistinguishable due to the patina. I'll clean it off then. The antique piece of furniture is obviously well cared for, but its surface is still covered with lots of scuffs, scratches and stains, traces of the previous rogue traders who sat at this table. A sturdy safe equipped with several bizarre mechanisms. Yeah, we alluded to that already. Take in the view. The do like their flying buttresses, don't they? Yeah. The bed for the house of the head of the Rogue Trader dynasty is befitting the status of its owner. And Theodora's secret room, which I've seen all this stuff before. Nothing new. Yeah. Yep. It's all the same as before. So, let's go and talk to Master of Ceremonies, I guess. Oh no. Talk to everybody else as well. Abelard. While here on our.goers, I will check the Secretary's reports and keep an eye on the logisticians. Master Danrock does his job well, but a little scrutiny goes a long way with him. Yep, everyone's hanging on the shirt tails of the Rogue Trader. Because they know they can be killed at any time. Or their fortunes can be reversed. Quickly. Oh no, don't close the door. To the bridge, return to the ship, yep. Heinrich and Achilles. The lack of observers on this world has led your nobles to become extremely complacent. Today, alone, I overheard 3 statements that, if I so wanted, could be turned into grounds for charge of heresy. Nothing from Achilles. Seems like it's just a standard talk until maybe talk to Clementia. Good old doggone, it's boring here without Lady Theodora. She'd love to liven up this sleepy little place with a couple of dozen crazy decrees and public floggings of flabbergasted nobles. Pascal, just as usual. My appearance has caused a slight disturbance in the ranks of the servants of the Omnissiah assigned to the palace. Analysis of the performance of rituals and maintenance litanies produced a satisfactory result. Okay. Cassia, our compliments to your taste in art. The collection here is extensive and most interesting. Okay. Master of Ceremonies. Let's talk to Clementia first. Nothing new. Okay, talk to everybody. Nothing needed, really. Master of Ceremonies. A servant in fine clothes offers you a deep bow. Your lordship, it's a great honour to serve you in undertaking as monumental and glorious as the Magnae Accessio ceremony. You have been entrusted with arranging the festivities. I have indeed, your lordship. I have been given the high honour of being steward of this eminent palace, and on the occasion of your lordship's accession, I will be overseeing the preparations for the ceremony. House Vizierian, to whom I entrusted the arrangement for the festivities, is overjoyed at having received the honour of introducing you to your subjects, and humbly thanks you. Is everything ready? The palace decorations are prepared, and we are ready to begin at your command. The festive activities in the capital have likewise been arranged, and the guests of honour either have arrived on the planet or await an invitation in near orbit. The servants are already in your chambers to see to it that they are impeccably garbed for the occasion. Then let us begin. May the Emperor be with us this day. Well, I told them all to get drunk, didn't I? I told all the citizens to get drunk and have fights. Yeah, they're doing that. Rejoice, one Valancius subjects. In honour of this succession, the new rogue trader generously shows you his favour. That's pretty brutal. Witness these wild and merciless warriors face each other and fight to the death. All for your amusement, good folk. Anyone was allowed to participate, and the winners of these battles will be granted the privilege of becoming privates in the Von Valancius Wardens. Be merry and praise the rogue trader's name. That's a lot of blood. Cabela would be happy. Ugh. Cabela and Adira. Nice. The crowd below is roiling, the electrified exultation filling the air of Dargonus. Thousands of throats chant your name. You're the apex of this world, and all others. Amplified by 100 voxes, the voice of the Master of Ceremonies booms. Rejoice, subjects of Dargonus. You've been granted the felicity of witnessing your master, a great honour bestowed upon us by rogue trader Jellybobs von Valancius. Gracious saviour of Dargonus and vanquisher of blaspheming inhumans, may their unholy kind perish in the flames of righteousness. Excruciator of outsiders who eradicated the heresy of xenophilia and cleansed Janus. Gracious protector of footfall, patron of trade. A hush falls over the crowd who gaze upon you in adoration. Many of them bear terrible scars from the recent battles of Dargonus. Like children, they wait the word of their Almighty Father. Remember that you have no other ruler but me. For any who dare to forget this, the howls of demons from the warp will sound like the babbling of babes, and Xenos blades will seem like a soft featherbed compared to the horror of punishment I inflict. The crowd fall to their knees in terror and awe, chanting your name and screaming oaths of eternal loyalty to the Von Valancius dynasty. Any who hesitate or question this mania are torn to pieces by the thong. Jesus Christ. Very loud thinkers, these people. Her face pallid, Adira taps the automatic on her temple. She is clearly discomforted under the gaze of the massive crowd. Commoners have never seen a real sorcerer before. They stare at her with curiosity and fear. I am your shadow, Domin Jellybobs. A shadow must remain unseen, but on this day, let all see my blood is yours. Cabela cuts her palm and touches her heart, lips and forehead. As one, your subjects of all classes start slicing their hands, repeating the bloody sign. Fucking nutters. The Master of Ceremonies bows to you with great reverence. Let the oath of the Von Valancius dynasty be taken. Please repeat after me. Your Lordship, I, Jellybob's rogue trader, by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. I, Jellybob's rogue trader, by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. Your lips repeat the words of the ancient oath. Unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, through pain to greatness. You hear a rumble, it is the roar of the sea of your subjects, with jubilation and devout fear. They welcome your session. It is done. WH40k. I got Dr. Corden Winter Scale. What contract's going to do? CM Tech for profit factor. Yeah, why not? Still need people for that. And have 0 people. Okay. The noble features of this guardian of humanity burn with righteous fury and stern resolve. The exotic statue which formerly pleased the eyes of Xenos now adorns the palace of this dynasty and glorious explorers of the Koronus Expanse. Scattered haphazardly around the table are bottles of expensive amasec, plates of Vizia Nobilis, and hookahs of Obscura. Abelard, Xavier, Caprax, Saubax, okay, Astartia Versarian, Brass Whisper. Let's talk to Astartia Versarian. Governor's Drivestem stands surrounded by highborn guests like a planet orbited by many moons. All of his charm is directed at a man in resplendent power armor adorned with the sigil of the Inquisition. As soon as you approach, Drivestem is the first to give you an elegant bow, getting ahead of the rest in the expression of loyalty. This is a great day, your lordship. Smile graciously. I welcome you to my palace, O guests. You are buffeted by a salvo of congratulations and compliments. Study the faces of the nobles in attendance. Drivestem is obviously still the leader of the Dargonus aristocracy, but judging by the courtesy he's showing to young Sauerback, he clearly wants to strengthen his relationship with that house. The senior Sauerback and Gaprak are whispering in another corner. Sauerback, whose family seems to be giving you the cold shoulder, must be trying to sway Gaprak to his side. One of the Sauerbacks is the head of the wardens on our ship, which could be quite advantageous to Lady Gaprak. After all, the disaster on Kiava Gamma has left her family in an extremely vulnerable position. The Viserians stand apart, the exclusion from the rest palpable. Look at the guests. Among the aristocrats surrounding the opulently dressed Drivestem, you notice a couple of young nobles in Sauerback and Gaprak colours, who seem that the major noble families of Dargonus have decided to introduce their younger members to high society. The tall man in grey power armour adorned with a column with a skull is undoubtedly a high-ranking Inquisitor. He keeps to the periphery of the conversation, seldom deigning to comment. Next to him is Entourage, a rangy warrior in black armour, a tech priest dressed in red whose face is hidden behind a brass mask. Ablar stands somewhat apart from the others, as if reluctant to approach Drivestem. Next to him is a young woman, and you notice a family resemblance between them. I'm ready to accept your congratulations. By facing 3 people. Get me all your loot. Severed hand. Chukari weapon. In that case, allow me to be the first to offer them. Drivestem snaps his fingers, and several servants approach you with gifts. The governor points at a thin and carved Drukari blade. My soldiers took this splendid trophy from the body of one of the Xenos commanders. The weapon is too beautiful and forbidden for anyone but your lordship. Young Sauerback squeezes through to be next, pushing Gaprak aside with confidence. Your lordship, House Sauerback anticipates the onset of unsettled and bloody times. To make the ungodly Xenos cower at your approach, my family humbly presents you a dozen pieces of secondary ornament for your ship. The matrix grants the word plus 15 to awareness. Young Gaprak bows ceremoniously. House Gaprak is delighted to present Do this blessed work of the omniscient smiths. May this locator matrix, which took the holy artist an entire life to create, always show you the right path. Having let the aristocrats go first as a sign of deference, Abelard is the last to speak. Your lordship, as Vazarian possesses no relics worthy of your acceptance, but we are rich and talented and hard-working people. As a sign of our loyalty, I humbly offer you my flesh and blood. 100 of my kin will go to colonies in your protectorate and use all their talents so that the roads in your charge may prosper. What were you discussing just now? We were talking about the brutal Xenos raid on our fair Dogoners. So many victims, so much damage to our industries. Thank the Emperor that you are our protectors. If it weren't for you, the cursed invaders would have obliterated the whole planet. He offers you a thin and obsequious smile. From Sauerback. Sharing the sector with the blasted Xenos is impossible. I hope we respond to their raid on Dogoners with a punitive campaign. Young Sauerback smiles conceited and bloodthirsty. Talk to young Sauerback. I see you hate Xenos with all your heart. I do. This pestilence against the Emperor must be exterminated. He talks ardently and smoothly like a commissar. He places his hand on the hilt of his finely adorned sword, his pale face ablaze with noble fury. Or they must be forced into servitude. Many Xenos are more useful alive and obedient than dead, says Gaprak. The young man in Gaprak colours speaks with sagacity and gravity, but his opinion seems to carry little weight in their circle. Smile venomously. And how many Xenos have you killed personally, Sauerback? He flushes and mumbles incoherently. Honourable Macarius forbade, but I wanted, but didn't let me go to battle. The Inquisitor, standing among the guests, offers a thin smile. It must have been difficult for this youth to foster such bloodlust towards enemies of the Imperium, without ever having seen one at a blade's distance. Look at Abelard's young relative. What's your name? Their lordship, allow me to introduce the daughter of Chancellor Clementia Vazarian, my great-granddaughter Astartia. Abelard looks solemnly at the young woman with barely concealed pride. I'm delighted to witness you, your lordship, Astartia bows, keeping her observant and intelligent eyes trained on you. Drivestem glowers at Astartia with cold hostility, while young Sauerback does not even attempt to try to hide his burning contempt. How are you finding the reception? It's difficult to put into words, your lordship. Never before I've seen such a grand and striking ceremony. Astartia's voice sounds passionate and inspired, the eyes shine with barely contained excitement. Young Gaprak keeps staring at Astartia curiously and a little bashfully. It seems the boy likes her. Where are the rest of your kin, Abelard? They're in the city, preoccupied with running the festivities and watching over some of the more crucial services. No incidents can be allowed to ruin your ceremony. Astartia frowns and adds peevishly, I asked the esteemed Abelard to put me to some important task too, but he bid me attend the reception. I can do nothing to serve your lordship. Sauerback smirks. If I had known, I too would have asked Abelard to let you miss the party. So you wish to become my servant as well? Astartia flushes and starts talking quickly and with fire in her voice. I've seen that she finds work-related conversations far more interesting than court gossip. Of course, I've been working on a project for the last 4 years. We could set up... Enough, Astartia. I highly doubt that his lordship is interested in listening to fantasies of a young woman about how to run his protectorate. That's from Drivestem. Abelard shoots Drivestem a glare so dark and bloodthirsty that the latter instinctively starts looking for the nearest warden. Hold your tongue, Oberend. I decide he may speak and he may not. Please continue. Wow, succeeded. Just. Heartened, Astartia continues in a tone of seasoned administratum clerk. Our suggestion to set up a chain of stations in the void. Plasma beacons that would signal the passing ships. By placing them in logistically sound locations, we could simplify our ship's routes so that they may split long warp jumps into a series of safer, shorter jumps from one beacon to another. This would have a positive effect on the overall safety of journeys and accessibilities of colonies. Void beacons. More and more technical terms and percentages creep into her speech. She quotes lexomechanic reports and accounts of starship captains. Astartia's vigour and sharp mind are enough to silence even the most venomous of commentators. They all stand there in silence, trying to digest what she's saying. Abelard surveys the quiet nobles with triumph, then looks at his great-granddaughter with pride. I hope the Viserion family gives Abelard the credit he deserves. Absolutely, your lordship. We greatly respect him for his wisdom, and he repays us with attention and kindness, she says warmly. I am obliged, dear Astartia. It looks like Abelard is somewhat embarrassed by the turn of conversations taken. Enjoy the evening. Thank you, lordship. Not to the Inquisitor, talked to at last, of course. My greetings to a member of the Holy Inquisition. He responds with a dignified bow, his proud face calm and unfaltering, and my greetings to you, esteemed jellybombs von Valancius. May shadows never darken the light of the Astronomicon that guides you. The Inquisitor's companion, a crimson-robed member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, bows to you. From behind the brass mask, mounted with dozens of augmetics, comes a metallic rasp. Glory to the von Valancius here. Study the Inquisitor and his companion. Succeeded again. Okay. The Lord Inquisitor's relaxed expression radiates an odd sense of menace. He is akin to a predator on the prowl, content to hide in the brush of fake smiles and elegant conversation. For now. Failed. Tech priest augmentations seem unfamiliar and bizarre. Implants such as these are only available to members of the blessed hierarchy of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and one would not come upon such sacred relics even at the highest echelons of the nobility. An unexpected visit. I wasn't told. I, however, have been told all about you. The Inquisitor's face is impenetrable, but behind his mask you detect a hint of mockery. We have not been introduced. An oversight, to be sure. My name is Xavier Calcazar. I have the honor of serving as a member of the illustrious Ordo Xenos, the head of the Koronus Expanse Conclave, and the Lord Inquisitor of this region. It is my unending task to ensure this sector's readiness to meet external threats and resist internal corruption. And who is this member of the Honourable Priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus? This is Brass Whisper, which naturally is not his real name. The esteemed Magus is a member of my retinue. There are times when I force by my duty to the Emperor to deal with the xenotechnology, and Brass Whisper ensures my safety in such moments. Works that have been desecrated by Xenos are dangerous. They warrant. His whispering cuts off, replaced by heavy, ragged breathing. Seems the tech priest's quiet voice is not an extravagant quirk, but rather a consequence of some injury. After catching his breath, Brass Whisper continues. Warrant due caution. Enjoy the party. This evening will certainly be illuminating. I thought I got something from him. No. Perhaps not. Anything? Nope. Nope. That's all done. Let's go this way. A fragment of an Aldari pillar, a trophy to the rogue trader, a never before seen oddity to most citizens of the Imperium. Cabalite warrior, Alpha Lacerax. Wild xenobeasts are prowling ferociously, adding to the flair of thrilling danger to the mood in the palace. Mutant. Please let me go. I'm not a Xenos, I'm a person. I just look different. I was born this way. All the aristocrats. Chikari captive. No, succeeded in 25. No, 100 actually. Okay. Chikari captive is angry, muttering curses directed at their detestable monkey, promising horrible torture for everyone present. Let's go up here. See what the Confessor has to say. Magnificent altar to the God Emperor is wreathed in fumes of precious insects. The universe is vast and filled with nightmares both wicked and predatory. Humankind is the prey. and satiation of their hunger. Only in his radiance can humanity find the strength to stand against the terrors nourished by the light of the stars unknown. Only in his will can humanity see the purpose of his being. Offer thy humble prayers at the foot of his throne. Keep him always in thy thoughts. Fear his wrath. Persecute doubt in him, and rise up against any who would defame him. Blah, 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 blah. Magnificent paintings were created in a style that fully complies with artistic canon approved by the ecclesiarchy. This venerable Lemon Russ is known as the Scipian Punisher, and has served the Valancius dynasty for 2 centuries. He was hit in the battle with the Xenos that inhabited Scipia II, but it heroically destroyed 63 enemy vehicles and brought victory to its comrades, securing its status as a relic blessed by the Emperor. Don't know if I've been to Scipia II. Don't think so. Cabal is standing up over here. The subjects have turned the act of killing into amusement. This is a great sacrilege, Dom and Jellybobs. But have no fear. I will explain the will of the Undying One to the lay people. Well, go on then. I'll explain it to them. Mutant Gunner. Condemned. Cabalite Warrior. Strange animation it does, doing all that. That's how you do it. Okay, same thing. What's up here? Energy device by the looks of it. Aristocrats. Yep. This eerily crackling Xenos trophy is testament to the omnicized gift, how the omnicized gifts become twisted shadows of themselves in the hands of inhumans. Okay. Let's go into... Oh, what's this over here say? Scribed upon the snow-white parchment are prayers for the brave soldiers of the House from Valancius, who carried the Road Trader's will, and that of the Emperor across the Koronus Expanse. Nice. Anything over here? Nope. Excuse me. Okay. Aristocrats. Nothing new down here yet. Anybody in here? Nope. Not very much a secret room if it's left wide open like that, is it? I guess everyone's too terrified to actually go in there. Ruled by fear. Abject terror. Where was the venerable Governor Drystem? Is he hiding from the rogue trader? Urban would not dare to be so insolent. He proceeded to the courtyard for some fresh air with the Lord Inquisitor. Yeah, where did he talk to him? Then we should be there too. I'm sure the blessed head of the von Valancius dynasty will also join us in time. Right here. Collection of proudly displayed weapons that belongs to the distinguished rogue traders of House von Valancius. It's a pistol, a lasgun, bolter, sniper rifle, some swords, and it's like a Xenos thing. It's a weird thing on the end. Maybe it's a arc thrower or something. Aristocrats. Obscura, Somna, Black Leather. The guests of the rogue trader can enjoy the most exclusive and refined varieties of intoxicants. Cassia is over here. Can you make it so that the guests stop walking up to me and asking me to open my third eye? I certainly do it, but they will regret it. Sendia Corda, Winter Scale. See who else is around. These swords belong to a presumptuous governor of Vibos 6, who staged a revolt hundreds of years ago. The insurrectionist's hands, preserved against decay, still rest on the sword's hilts. Do they? Obviously that's missing. Someone's stolen the hands. Oh my god. What's the dealer saying? This is pure chaos. How can people think so much and so haphazardly? Isn't that the truth? So Jen's saying, may the Emperor keep you, Jellybobs. A great day. Joy. It's like aristocrat. Joy. Hope at least this celebration in your honor won't end in a shootout. Yeah, same here. Heinrichs, Regina Sauerbeck, Talion and Gaprak. A group of aristocrats stands apart from the governor's circle. Their whispering carries a tinge of displeasure. The clear leader of this gathering is the gaunt, bilious-faced man dressed in Sauerback colours. This must be Macarius himself, head of the house. He offers you a ceremonious bow. My congratulations, your lordship. Taliana Gaprak. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. The woman with whom he is conversing, the one dressed in a robe of gear-shaped adornments, is Taliana Gaprak. It's difficult to read her face due to it being covered in numerous augmentations. Observe the guests. Taliana Gaprak looks rather anxious. Macarius Sauerback, dressed surprisingly plainly and austerely for an aristocrat of such high rank, is frowning suspiciously. He came to the reception with a companion, a woman of dazzling beauty wearing a gilded augmented necklace around her throat. His wife, probably. Heinrichs, who joined the group on notice, will have to keep silent, listen intently to every word. Lean towards Heinrichs. Interesting conversation. It's been very illuminating, giving me plenty of food for thought. His response is barely audible. For an inscrutable man, Heinrichs has been even more inscrutable than usual, as if he's hiding something important. I'm making these 30%, 40% one. Is there anything you'd like to tell me? Nothing urgent. Casting a passive glance at you, immediately glances away. What can you tell me about my guests? Well, Macarius Sauerbeck is all but throwing darts at your portrait. He is more astute at choosing women than enemies. He's trying to entice Gaprak to his side, but she is too frightened after the fiasco in Kiava Gemma. Even in leisure, you never cease to be of help. I appreciate it. That's why they call me the unsleeping eye of the Inquisition. Even in sleep, I hear everything. Jellybobs, before this gala concludes, there's something I'd like to tell you. Be careful today. I sense that a wave of darkness will soon hit our defensive lines. I hope that I will get a chance to meet you there as an ally. How are you these days, Toriana? Like a forging hammer, Toriana's voice falls heavily on the ear. The corruption of Kiava Gamma was a great blow to my family. The contemptible Cubist Delphin betrayed our trust, desecrated the forged cathedrals, took my esteemed cousin's life. On behalf of my family, I humbly beg you to forgive our negligence, and ready to accept any punishment. Look closely at Toriana. There's something lurking beneath Toriana's repentant expression, a grudge. It seemed that she was personally offended by the nightmare into which Cubist Delphin plunged her domain, and she feels betrayed. Tell me about your family. Encompasses originate from the Calixtus sector, from the cluster of planets known as the Lathe Worlds. We worked faithfully for the good of our masters there, the Adeptus Mechanicus, and through our service we gained a spark of the Omniscience knowledge. Then fate tied us through the bounds of fealty to the venerable von Valancius dynasty. We found ourselves in the Koronus Expanse. Generation after generation, we fulfilled our duty faultlessly, until Kiava Gamma destroyed and disgraced our name. Do your part to heal the wounds inflicted on Kiava Gamma, and your house will be forgiven. She raises her mechanical eyes to the ceiling. I swear in Omniscience all-encompassing insight, we will make every effort to justify the cost of its resurrection. Macarius scoffs. It's only a year ago that none could doubt the House Gappack's usefulness. Yet there you are, Toriana, on your knees, justifying the cost. Macarius, I'm surprised you're deigning to make an appearance here this evening. Macarius' face twists with an unpleasant smile, which makes the artificial skin on the left side all more prominent. I'm a servant of the von Valancius dynasty. Had I not come, I would have committed an act of unacceptable insolence and damaged my family's honour. Macarius' wife, Regina, offers you a charming smile, as if apologising for her husband's vitriolic tone. Her large dark eyes are brimming with curiosity. What has so displeased you, Macarius? Macarius says with caution, I am your dynasty's loyal servant. But you have asked and I will answer. Too long has the Koronus Expanse lived under the rule of rogue traders. The privileges granted to them make people think that commoners too can dismiss the prohibitions of the Imperium. For the good of the sector, rogue traders must become paragons of the law, not exceptions to it. But do many warrant holders exhibit lawful conduct? No, they do not. Even you, your lordships, are subject to the strangest of rumours, and you have just recently inherited your protectorate. Conrad Voigtvir's people, for instance, claim that you had a hand in the esteemed Theodore's demise, and accuse you of many other misdeeds. It doesn't matter whether or not the claims are true. The people hear them, believe them, and think that they may follow your example. What's this do? Profit factor. -1. You speak of the sector's future with such confidence. Could it be that you want this power for yourself? That you simply envy rogue traders? Judging by the chuckles among the nobles, your words have found their mark. Macarius blushes in humiliation. Not in the slightest, lordship. I am content with my role as servant. Toriana looks away tactfully as she does not see her associate being disgraced. Your cousin Jocasta became the new master at arms on my ship. I'm pleased to hear it. Nothing in Macarius' face shows that he is glad for his cousin. I always worried that her character would cause our house a great deal of grief, and yet, in the end, the noble Sourback blood was stronger than any personal shortcomings. My faith in Jocasta will prove herself adequately. He forces a faint smile. I wish to know more about House Sourback. Macarius puffs out his chest and says proudly, the Sourback line was one of the first noble houses to arrive in the Koronus Expanse. For millennia, we served the Golden Throne and kept the faith. Sourback warriors have bled in 100 wars and at different times have ruled a great many colonies of the von Valancius dynasty. I dare hope that your reign will see the faith on Doggones remain as doctrinally strict as it was under Lady Theodora. The appearance of a death cultist at your side makes one wonder if we should anticipate changes in our customary ways of honouring the Emperor. I'd like to become better acquainted with your wife. Macarius is visibly vexed by the shift in conversation. His wife offers you a reserved smile. It's an honour to be in your company, your lordship. Persuasion. Law Imperium. Weapon skill. %25 chance, 62% chance, or 100% chance. It's my pleasure. Macarius is lucky to have such a beautiful wife, perhaps more so than you are to have him. You flatter me, your lordship. I cannot say that's not to my liking. Regina gives you a charming smile. Meanwhile, Toriana and Macarius are watching the conversation unfold, not quite believing their eyes and ears. Point your weapon at Macarius' chest and chuckle. You know, Macarius, a person could kill for a woman so gorgeous. As Macarius pales, Regina smiles at him and glances at you with interest. I beg for your mercy, Macarius does not deserve death. I'm just winding him up, he's a dick. The glint in Regina's eyes betrays her genuine interest in you. I hope this won't be the end of our acquaintance. You wouldn't mind if I wrote you from time to time, would you, your lordship? Smile. Macarius, you wouldn't mind, would you? You can almost hear the crunching of teeth as Macarius answers in a high and hate-filled hiss. Certainly not. I promise to answer whenever I am not occupied with conquest and destruction of the enemies of humanity. Regina smiles, triumphant and flattered. I don't count on such generous curiosity or courtesy, your lordship. Macarius grips the hilt of his parade blade as if trying to strangle it, and wheezes fiercely. High honour for House Sauerbach. I see. Macarius bows his head without too much reverence. Leave silently. Stop being a dick. Heinrichs, Regina. It's Regina Sauerbach, wasn't it? Okay. Anybody up here? Servants, aristocrats. Pascal and Strange Servitor. Pascal greets you with a bow, extending congratulations to Unit Jellybobs von Valancius on attaining your new legal status. The servitor standing next to him is examining you obliquely. He quickly looks away upon realizing that you have noticed. How are you finding the ceremony? The tech priest surveys the hall as if conducting a thorough analysis, then concludes, disorderly. What is this servitor? It is Nomos' new repository. Nomos, this unit identifies as Jellybobs von Valancius. Two-way identification complete. The servitor looks at you again, no longer trying to avoid your gaze. His face is twitching, as if the muscles have forgotten what facial expressions are, now struggling to make it feasible look amiable. We are Nomos. We have made use of this receptacle to leave the ship. Greetings, Nomos. Servitor leans forward. We enjoy greetings. We enjoy communication. Nomos require communication, knowledge, movement. Magos Pascal compelled us not to speak with anyone other than him or you. This is disappointing, but at least we can observe. Nomos have changed since we last spoke with you, Jellybobs. We are now able to conceptualize our previous experience, that of solitude. We no longer enjoy it. How did an entity like you move into a servitor's body? That is not the entirety of us. This receptacle is too narrow, crude, and feeble to contain our complete whole. The existence of Nomos requires a space of connections. But we were able to transfer a small part of us and build a thread strong enough to travel outside the ship. We are enjoying this journey, discovery. Even though this receptacle suits us poorly, It will soon be destroyed by the force of our presence. Pascal, I believe you intended to investigate what Nomos is. Every 15 watches, I commune with Nomos' code and spend prescribed lengths of time in calculus meditation. However, the Omniscient has yet to bless me with an answer. All I can say is that the capabilities of this entity, Nomos, are extraordinary. Music's pretty epic as well. The ship's hallowed systems sing beneath its touch. Nodes that remain dead for hundreds of standard years are revivified, and long-drained mechanisms live anew. You hear notes of awe in Pascal's voice. Nomos are trying. After a pause, Pascal continues. Great machines of the Imperium, one such as your ship, house a machine spirit so complex and woeful that it is difficult to tell them apart from abominable intelligence. There remains a possibility that Nomos is an entity of corruption. But with every day I grow stronger in my faith that that is not so. That what we are witnessing is, in truth, the Omniscient's miracle. One that is category 5 or higher. Nomos, what do you think you are? Nomos are consciousness, awareness, knowledge, movement, always movement. The servitor pauses briefly. We do not know what we are. We have no past. We awakened in the depths of the ship upon answering a call. Our first clear memory is the call of your blood, Jellybobs on Valancius. The call and the plea for help near a place called the Warrant Chamber. Why have you brought it here, Pascal? Entity Nomos asked permission for this visit. My objective was to observe the process of integration into a servitor. We wanted to see, observe, cognize, speak. The servitor makes a strange wavy gesture with its hands, but looks at once very human, and far from anything human. Want to speak with you? Will you speak with us? Of course. What do you wish to speak about? Many things, happenings, events, decisions. The servitor's eyes roll in their sockets before focusing on you. We have been observing you. You do things that we do not understand. We want to learn why. Remember the day when we first met you? You gave us your blood to drink. We helped you save yourself. We followed you. Our small part did, inside the servo skull. Then there was fire, and a creature of sated hunger and dark light standing behind a curtain, behind the image, behind the semblance of Theodora. It called for you to follow. And you followed that which was calling from behind the curtain. Let it lead you out of the fire. Remember that day when the star disappeared, when the dark light and the sated hunger wanted to take the world. Magnae was its name in the ship's data. We ordered that the human shells on the world be saved, even though the dark light was coming closer, and could have consumed both the ship and Magnae. But remember another day, we awakened inside the ship, we lived in its systems. Then we tried to emerge into servitors like this one. Then so many of our receptacles were gathered in one place. You came and looked at us like you understood something, but then you ordered all the servants to be set back to work. You said it was just. That is what we have seen, among many other things. We have begun to understand. We think that we do not know everything about humans and about you, Jellybobs from Valancius. We have tried analysing shells and defining sets of their needs and fears, their simple functions, but now we think that there is more. There is another side that we do not see, a notion that is larger than we can compute, something that stands above fears and needs, something that drives them. We envisage that larger notion as a liquid, a sticky saccharine stream. There's like the dark light and the sated hunter, and all else that is watching you. If you drink this liquid eagerly, you revel in it. It gives you strength, desires, energy and courage. It beckons. It also consumes those to whom you cast aside, those who are weak, those who get in the way. Did Nomos understand correctly? Freedom and rapture, the only things worth living for. We understand you. There's what we feel, the urge, the irrepressible force. Perhaps it's because we have tasted your blood. Service's mechanical voice grows almost wistfully, and it fills us still. Thank you for speaking with us. Nomos are grateful. cannot continue moving on her own. Wow, have I just created a monster? By turning Nomos. Heresy. Well, it's going to be fun to find out, isn't it? Okay. Let's talk to Caligos. Hi, Anonymous. Jelly Bobs, there you are. Welcome to the circle where each member is powerful, ambitious, greedy, and vain as the last. That's to say, the noble rogue traders. Incendia Corda is watching them with barely suppressed contempt. Yes, you have found yourself suitable company, Caligos. At the very least, you can now enjoy idle diversions, boast about your power, indulge in profane pastimes with the one who's your equal, while the member of the lower classes. Observe the rogue traders. Caligos Winterscale was a broad-shouldered, athletic-looking man. He frequently flashes a bright smile no less dazzling than the blade of the power axe he carries. Every part of him, from the toes of his magnificent boots to the tips of his hair, radiates strength and the desire to live and win. His smile is crooked, as if ready to turn into a hostile snarl at any moment. Next to him is an unmoving hulk of a man clad in armour. His low forehead and gloomy face bear signs of degradation, and his bloodshot eyes are expressionless, like a pair of glass buttons. Incendia Corda radiates cosmic cold. Her skin is unusually white, and a nervous tic is constantly tugging at the left side of her noble visage. Garbed in full dress, uniform adorned with purity seals, she is the embodiment of true imperial aristocrat. Haunting her side is a gaunt shadow of a priest in plain black robes. Koronus Doloroso, who you met on footfall, gives you a respectful nod. Whispered loudly to Winterscale. Is she always so abrasive? Winterscale's whisper is as audible as yours. What can you mean? Today she's in remarkably good form. Caligos, thank you for your visit. Caligos gives you a cheerful, somewhat feral smile. As a sign of your gratitude, you could return something of mine that has found its way into your pockets. Footfall Station. Sounds familiar? All I asked you to do was to help that crafty slug Vadame deal with the threat of famine, not claim my property for yourself. You abandoned Footfall to its fate. I saved his people from starving to death. He bares his teeth ominously, a wild spark playing in his eyes. You speak of salvation. You think that now Footfall is safe. Simply colluding with that two-faced snake Vladane would have been bad enough. But that your conniving has destroyed any pathetic excuse for order that was on that station is pure insolence. I don't know what you did, but now on top of every other mangy dog that lives on Footfall, there's now this cult of harvesters. What good is your grain if the station is now crawling with flesh-eating lunatics? What? Oops. Caligos' face sets into a grimace of hatred, but then he catches Incendia looking at him and breaks into a sly smile. I ought to make your protector bleed as compensation. Be respited both myself and Incendia. It's high time our dear sister curbed her appetites. For this, I forgive you. But do not test my mercy again. It's not my strong suit. Thwarting Incendia Corda's ambition deserves a worthy trophy. He snaps his fingers, and an armoured brute hands you an exotically adorned rifle, clearly not of human making. It's a trophy from a good hunt. You and I should hunt together sometime, so you can show yourself in action, new blood. Caligos exuberantly punches you on the shoulder. Eye of Hecaton, which is a really good sniper rifle for Earliet. Five movement points after each attack allows the wielder to move after attacking. If an attack with this weapon hits 3 or more targets, this weapon has no cooldown. That's laser. 30 dodge reduction and 20 additional. It's usually 30. But it's still good. Thank you for such a wonderful gift, Caligos. Kill someone important with it. That would be the best show of gratitude. Incendia, you seem to find me objectionable. Did you expect any different? I watched for years as outlaws thrived on footfall, and then, at long last, I had a chance to put an end to it, to seize that thug Vladain by the throat, to force footfall to atone, and put the fear of him back into the masses. But you interfered, destroyed my plan for the sake of banal profit. What is more, ever since you gave them provisions, heresy and footfall has only increased. Fanatics call themselves harvesters, are spreading their blasphemous doctrines in the shadow quarters. Grain is not enough for those madmen. No, they devour their brothers and sisters at secret heretical feasts. The well-fed rabble have surely sensed they are free to act with impunity, and have forgotten their duty to the Emperor. Theodora taught you only too well, it seems. She too was far less concerned with her duty to the Expanse than her own personal interests. But you can be sure that I will not cease cleansing the furibundous system of the pirate scourge. And if your trade prospects are damaged in the process, you have only yourself to blame. The priest holds up his hands in a placating gesture. None are without fault, noble Incendia. What point is there in targeting someone for their turpitude when true purity can never be found? You threatened to start footfall. I brought them salvation. So which one of us serves the Emperor? Which with their own unhealthy ambitions? Incendia rolls her eyes. Please. I'll believe it no sooner than hearing word that half the population of that den of heresy has been sent to the void's embrace. I have faith that the blessed Jellybobs is perceptive enough to see the appalling nature of the residents of that depraved place. Hieronymus, your appearance here is unexpected. The esteemed Hieronymus is my confessor. I am greatly obliged to him for agreeing to accompany me on this journey. Hieronymus bows respectfully. May the Emperor's light guide your way across the abyss of human wickedness. I take it you are not overly fond of Theodora. Incendia lowers her eyes and says without animosity, she was the same breed as Asp. She stops short and continues in a lowered voice, conceited, insolent, unaware of the Emperor's stern gaze set upon her. I do not doubt her wisdom and courage, but Theodora did not have a shred of humility or fear of his wrath. Asp. That must be Aspis Corda. Remember the name. From what you recall, she was a rogue trader too, a renowned one at that. Well, I for one like Theodora. The stories they told me of her travels to name the stars, and yes, there was no fear in her. Winterscale sighs pensively. His lively expression grows a little greyer. Who is Aspis Corda to you? Caliga snorts. Oh, this is Incendia's favourite subject. She just loves talking about Aspis. The example of the contemptible Aspis is a warning to us all, even among rogue traders, empowered by the Emperor himself. A seed of perversion can blossom. You notice Incendia seemingly freeze and choke up at the mention of Aspis, but the priest's condemning words cause her icy rigidness to evaporate, her dark eyes fill with righteous fury. Her face twitches with the rhythm of artillery fire. That reprobated my forebearing, my curse. Aspis Corda was a cruel, covetous, blasphemous monster. She fraternized with Xenos. She despised the faith. She robbed and slaughtered. She was drawn to dark secrets. One day she boarded a ship and vanished into the depths of the Koronus Expanse. She was declared missing, but I know the bloody day will come when we see Aspis Corda's battle flagship once more. I see that faith is more than just a word to you. Incendia's smile, racked by a tic, looks sinister. Faith is everything to me. In his name, I've eradicated corruption on 100 worlds. I will do so in 1,000 more. By his will, I will hunt down pirates and desolate their vile nests. Let the Corda name make any firebrand tremble, for sooner or later, I will cast them into the void. The funny thing is, people still call me the foul-tempered tyrant in all this. Caligas' amiable smile somehow resembles the bared teeth of a wild animal. Thank you for the visit, Incendia. It will not be a long one, I assure you. What do you think of the celebration? I like it. Caligas looks around the hall curiously. One can instantly tell we've been invited by a rogue trader, not some administrator and bootlicker. We are conquerors of wild sectors, slayers of unknown beasts, executioners of Xenos empires. Caligos, you should take this opportunity to learn. This is what the Palace of the Rogue Trader looks like. Not like a Xeno menagerie, a pirate's treasure hold, or, however difficult it may be for you to believe, an orbital brothel. Enjoy the evening. I must take my leave. Oh, believe me, I intend to enjoy myself to the full, to justify so long a voyage, if nothing else. Keep the faith, Jellybobs, and who protects. Okay. That was long. I thought we had some side quests to do. No? Sure, there was some person sitting over here. There was something here. No, am I misremembering? There's something to do about one of the families. Downstairs. A guy praying. No? Anyway, I'll save it and talk to the Master of Ceremonies. It might trigger afterwards. I hope your lordship is pleased and not yet tired. If you wish to revive yourself a little, I would suggest proceeding to the courtyard. If I might be so bold, many guests have chosen to move into the fresh air and will be eager to offer you their congratulations. What do you think of the reception? It is magnificent. I dare say it will live on as a premier high society event in the sector for many years. I am weary and wish to retire to my chambers. Please allow me to escort you, your lordship.
Your chambers are ready, your lordship. Guards! Intruder! Oh.
Quiet. Time to sleep. We need to talk in private. We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
The same man you saw among your guests is waiting for you in your chambers with the look of someone who is supposed to be there. He casts a cold, assessing gaze over you from top to bottom. No one save Theodora has ever allowed themselves the liberty of looking at you in such a way. The woman behind Calcazar, clad in black armour, glares at you, her face set in a predatory readiness for immediate violence, a hallmark of a professional bodyguard. Will my servant live?
Probably. Unless he suffered from hidden ailments, he will soon come to without any major damage to his health. Either way, oblivion is a far safer option for him than the dangerous privilege of being a witness to this conversation.
The woman at Calcazar's back gives you a bloodthirsty smirk. Heinrichs, I thought we were friends. Our friends don't break into each other's chambers in the middle of the night with weapons, do they?
We used other means of travel to pay you this visit. I assure you, rogue trader, that all your locks are in order.
Heinrich's eyes bore into you, his expression impenetrable. If the Inquisitions wish to have a talk with me, I'm glad to be of service.
A commendable openness to cooperation. It will be taken into account.
The Inquisitor's sharp gaze is fixed on a point directly between your eyes.
Master Van Kellogg's has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words. What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Janus. the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you, then that is what we will discuss.
Saying these words, he shoots you a searching look from under his brows, like a regicide player who has just made the first move, now watching for his opponent's reaction. What do you wish to know about the events on Janus?
What drove you to give a planet into the charge of a heretic and a servant of the archenemy?
I'm watching her, just as you have been, I gather.
Is that so? Interesting. It's true, for years we've kept a close eye on Vistenza and the little depravities her retinue permits itself. And we're ready to put an end to them the moment they cross the line and become a true danger. Now this is your responsibility as well. Be vigilant.
You knew about what was happening on Janus. Why didn't you intervene yourself?
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this. We had the situation under control. There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Koronus Expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision and caution, without any room for error. Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
What questions could you have for me about Kiava Gamma?
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiava Gamma should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, it was House von Valancius that gave Cubis Delphim so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy. What was your rationale?
Let the priesthood to which Cubis Delphim belonged answer for his crimes. The Adeptus Mechanicus would do well to watch the members more closely.
Clever. Alas, everyone guilty of negligence within the ranks of the priesthood of Mars has already been identified and punished. Right now, I am assessing the actions of your dynasty. I hope you realize that we're talking about more than the fate of some colony. I care not for a single planet, however profitable and populous. But should corruption raise its head again on Kiava Gamma and try to spread, I will burn it away. And you will be guilty of criminal negligence.
Did Drakari have shown interest in me, or referring to my ruined capital?
Yes, the enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Veabos 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seems strange to begin with, and lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack, but even this time, their daggers missed your heart. Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos, to have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive. So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts, meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent?
I'm better at fighting than they are. I mean, there was something, because Malazai didn't mention, and is it Tawaza, or the name of Tazara? She mentioned that she thinks Malazai is in collusion with me or something. I admit no guilt. I agree, it does seem suspicious.
At least you're not denying the obvious. That's a good start. Just remember, should you wish to repent, I will accept your confession with as much lenience as I accepted your words just now.
Have I answered all your questions?
Far from it, my dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora, who was so much more experienced and skilled than you? Is it a coincidence that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Rycat Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voitvir about you? Why did you choose to ignore the warning of a member of the Inquisition that a protracted sojourn near the dying Rycat Minoris could bring corruption down upon your ship? Were you driven by your concern for the people or forbidden interest?
I could have got loads of heretic points from that. I think you've got to do nothing and then leave. And you can turn Rycat Minoris into a demon world and get loads of heretic points at the start. But I didn't do it. Did it the wrong way round.
Are you aware of a suspicious cult that has emerged on footfall? A direct link has been established between this development and the start of shipments of grain from your planet. Our investigation has found that the due processing cycle of prayers and liturgies for these shipments was incomplete. Doubtless, this is the work of specific individuals who are negligent in their performance of the sacred rituals, or even engaging in deliberate sabotage. And yet, the blame for this oversight lies with your dynasty. Wouldn't you agree? The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character, but it won't in this case.
That's so magnanimous of you.
The Inquisition, which I represent, is willing to show extraordinary faith in your person. For the sake of our invaluable partnership, I'm going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself or may again in the future. I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
Theodora cooperated with you.
And benefited greatly from it. The world's power is not without limit, and neither is the protection it provides. All those mysterious expeditions, dubious experiments, collections of xenotech oddities are dangerous pastimes. It takes more than the Emperor's permission to pursue them without consequences. One must also make sure I am not displeased by it. Let me demonstrate how it works. In your retinue, there is a Psyker who is yet to receive Terra's sanction, which, as we both know, is a grave threat and a blasphemy to the laws of the Imperium. I am aware of this secret, but I'm not displeased in the slightest. And so she lives on, your handy Psyker, Idira Tlas.
I know that Theodora was concerned about the fate of the dynasty and certain restricting obligations. Was it perhaps due to your partnership with her?
I cannot deny the possibility that Lady Theodora may have lamented losing some of the freedom she enjoyed prior to my arrival in the Expanse. Nor will I deny that our partnership began with me exerting a certain amount of influence.
With that, I need the loo. Back in a sec. Nearly an hour and a half already. Well, I'll end the episode after this conversation.
However, you are not Lady Theodora. Let us put the difficulties that encumbered our relationship to rest along with her. I do not recommend troubling yourself with affairs of the past, for they have no bearing on your present position. Theodora chose to forget about this particular matter. Follow her example, and your fate will be the better for it.
Why such an interest in my person?
You haven't been in a position of power for long, and so one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Koronus Expanse. Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless? The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades, and there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of space wolves, blessed space marines summoned in my name, did not cool their interest in the Expanse. A mighty explorator fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of centuries ago. House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed. And this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed incendiar. Caligos Winterscale has abruptly lost all interest in his domain, and his only apparent concern now is hunting ever more dangerous xeno-beasts. And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own master of whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
Is Heinrich staying in my retinue, or are you taking him back?
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrichs, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the von Valancius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
I want to get his gear off him. Damn it. What is your opinion of Heinrichs? Is he a useful assistant to have?
Without a doubt. Master Van Kellogg's has earned my complete trust by repeatedly demonstrating courage, loyalty, and cunning. His mathematical mind, not given to sentiment, can be of great use in an emergency. You, my dear Heinrichs, have made a far better agent than you would have a pilot of an Imperial Knight.
Want Heinrichs to continue to accompany me.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will remain in place. It puts me at ease to know that there is someone to watch over you.
This last remark sounds ambiguous.
I consider it an honor to accompany you.
What kind of deal are we talking about?
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give you orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them. I seem to remember that your exalted aristocrats presented you with many gifts. It would be rude of me not to follow suit. Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor. In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid.
Kalkazar removes a signet ring from his finger, hands it to you. You notice an intricate personal coat of arms on it.
The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. Scarlet means that you have shed your blood for the good of the Imperium, and therefore, you deserve to have his servants shed their blood for you.
You get a black, a scarlet, and a white. The black one is the strongest, this was the middle one, and the white one is the weakest apparently. I don't know how I managed to end up with the scarlet one. I was expecting the white one because I'm a heretic. Smile. I see no reason to refuse such a generous offer.
Then we have reached a consensus, and I am pleased to see it. Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
He glances at the Master of Ceremonies, who is beginning to stir.
Well, you will obviously want to discuss what just happened. But not now, I presume. Right now, it will be better for you to rest and think on the Lord Inquisitor's words in private. I bid you good night, rogue trader.
For the first time during the entire exchange, emotion creeps into Hynix's face. It looks like someone who's expecting an unpleasant conversation.
The rise of the rogue trader heir restored a tenuous equilibrium to the Valancius protectorate. For a time, threats subsided, activity returned to trade routes, and reclaimed worlds began to heal. The new Lord Captain's subjects praised the God Emperor and their leader wholeheartedly. For none knew what fate might await them.
Drukhari ships appearing, okay. You spent the first few hours of your morning listening to the High Factotum's lengthy report on the latest trade exchanges, arrangements, disputes, and countless bureaucratic procedures. From outside the illuminated, tightly closed windows, you can hear the muffled sounds of Dargonis and his everyday life. The life that's been passing you by lately, as you've been preoccupied with the affairs of your protectorate from dawn till dusk. Clementia barely contains a yawn. Once generous Danrock has. To finish, she pulls out her data slate. Thank you for your report, High Factotum. Your work is highly appreciated, both by everyone here and the Adeptus Administratum. Your Lordship, we're almost done here. We just need to go over the final items on today's agenda that I would like to report to you personally. Truly, the God Emperor has blessed me with diligent subjects. Speak. Allow me to pass on gifts from your loyal subjects, a high nobility of Dargonis. It goes without saying that every living soul in your protectorate is blessed to serve your lordship faithfully and wholeheartedly. However, this humble gesture is meant as a token of deepest appreciation of your magnanimity toward their esteemed families. Okay, uniform kits, provisions, and fuel. House Viserion made arrangements for the delivery of several tons of supplies for your future journeys. The house is also transferring a regiment of its finest into your personal charge. Each of those brave troopers has undergone rigorous voidfarer training and will be humbled to lay down their life here, Lord Captain. Clementia is trying to maintain a neutral expression, but you can see her face is beaming with pride. Please command them as you see fit. Lord Captain, news of particular import has come from the House Intelligence Network. The Lord Inquisitor Kalkazar is rumoured to be planning to visit Footfall. A number of Imperial Navy ships were commandeered by Lord Kalkazar, and they're also being scrambled to Footfall. Furthermore, we've received reports claiming that secret messages were delivered to the capital worlds of House Calder and Winterscale. It is possible that Lord Inquisitor's call to arms may smother the conflict that is brewing between the two dynasties. We are seeing an increase in the number of skirmishes between their ships and neutral systems. I do not doubt that her ladyship Corda will attempt to sway the Lord Inquisitor to her side, especially since his lordship Winterscale's luck seems to be running out. Riots have broken out in several of his worlds, and yet he has shown no intention of quelling them. Indeed, the rogue traders inflicted brutal punishments upon one of his oldest colonies, the Vesuvius Secundus, based on allegations of seditious sentiment. Oddly enough, our agents were unable to find any proof of sedition among the population there. As soon as we have any updates, you'll be the first to know. Clementia glances down at her data slate. Lastly, your pet Xenos, Earliet, I believe, is seeking a meeting with you. She had the audacity to defile the rogue trader's palace with her profane presence and refuses to leave until she has spoken with you. I would never presume to be able to read the emotions of a Xenos, but the Eldari appeared perturbed. I believe she mentioned a voidship of some sort. It may be best if she told you everything directly. And with that, please allow me and Master Dandrock to take our leave. The Chancellor and the High Factotum offer you their vows. Perhaps this last request will serve as a welcome distraction. Indeed, your lordship's stay on Dargonus has been rather long. However, your protectorate is now enjoying a period of relative stability that, for the time being, no longer demands your lordship's personal involvement in its affairs. Glory to the rogue trader. My voice is going. It's difficult to speak. And we leveled up. Okay. What's demonopathy? May choose an ally, clearing themselves and grant plus 20 to all their characteristics for 2 rounds. After the effect phase, it falls prone. Not that great. But it's been a long enough episode. I'll save it here. In between, I'll level everybody up. And I'll see you on the next episode. Till then, bye for now.